The lives of two families changed forever. Her worst fears realized. A mother of four from Goshen made a decision that would ultimately provide a stranger life after death.
ABC 57's Vahid Sadrazadeh is live in the studio with us tonight with their remarkable story. Vahid.
Brian and Colleen, good evening. On May 16th, 2012, one tragedy turned unimaginable hurt into hope. This is a story of heartbreak, faith, and an unexpected lifelong bond. A story of how two became one.
5 years ago, this mother and this son were complete strangers. The two joined together today in the most unwelcoming of places, clinging to the unlikeliest of bonds. Separated now only by time and space, their journey, one of heartbreak, hope, courage, and ultimately a close-knit care only two souls can feel when their worlds collide. 4 unforgettable days in May when two families 450 miles apart were forever fused by one heartbeat.
On May 16th, Dejiana got home from school and she did her homework and did her chores like she always did.
Most days, Valerie Matthews' daughter, 12-year-old Dejiana Smith, attended an after-school program at the YMCA. But this day was different.
He's like, no, like today I'm gonna meet my friends at the park at school. And
meanwhile, in Altoona, Pennsylvania, time was running out for 15-year-old Dalton Igo.
We look back now at those previous 15 years, and he was really sick.
Before she left, it's like I still picture it, and I still remember we laughed and we joked, and I remember us leaving and saying bye, and we loved each other.
He's in and out of Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. He said he had 4 open hearts.
On her walk home, she kind of passed by her brother and sisters, and they were headed to the park, and they were like, hey, come back to the park. And she said no, that she was hot and she wanted to go home. And so, yeah, within, I'd say like a couple minutes after seeing them is when a truck ran off the road and hit her. As they said, well, it was a girl that was hit. I turned around and I was on my way to the emergency room. 911 asked me to describe what my daughter was wearing, and so I told them, and they said, well, we can't verify that that was your daughter, but I will tell you that that's what the girl was wearing.
Fighting for her life, she was airlifted to Memorial Hospital in South Bend. The news was unimaginable.
They did a investigation, and they said that since he didn't have drugs or alcohol in his system, that he wasn't charged with anything. They ruled it as an accident. I've never heard from him, never got an apology, nothing.
Suffering an irreparable brainstem injury, Dejiana was pronounced dead. The day starting like any other for Dalton. Since the day he was born, he's been battling a bevy of health issues.
It got to the point where I couldn't even walk 5 steps without being out of breath.
6 congenital heart defects and only 1 functioning lung.
My phone came up Heart Center.
Then his mom got the call she'll never forget.
She's like, well, you're gonna need that shower. And I said, really? She's like, we have a heart. And I just dropped to the ground.
Dalton had been added to the transplant list 10 days prior.
I went to the junior high. They couldn't find him at the junior high. The sickest kid in the junior high school, and they couldn't find him.
In a split second, Dawn's son, Dalton, was given a second chance.
I feel like it would just be what you should do. I mean, that's how I personally felt. Like, even for me to be an organ donor, like, I don't have to think twice about that.
In just 3 days, universes had shifted and the planets aligned.
First instinct, our first, was just to pray for this family because we knew Dalton had to receive a small heart.
On May 18th, 2012, Dejiana Smith gave Dalton Igo the ultimate gift, her heart.
I mean, it's like, it's so important for her not to be forgotten. It's so important for us as a family to always remember her.
No parent should ever bury their child, but your child lives on inside of mine.
Two souls forever linked by one heartbeat.
But to me, I got the best part.
Yes.
And I really do think that.
The memories she holds dear of her daughter will surely never fade.
Like part of our prayer is always to, you know, we thank God for Dejiana and for her life that she shared with us, and for her heart that's still beating, and you know, it's part of our prayer now.
Now 20, Dalton and his mom are following up on a promise they made to their Michiana family that on the 5th anniversary, they would bring part of Dejiana back to the place it all began. A promise to walk the same road she did that day in May, and spending time doing the things she loved with the people she loved.
Bringing home Dejiana's heart where it belongs, bringing everything home.
And so now, through Dalton, Dejiana is home safe. A homecoming after 5 years, and a first pitch honoring her as his game of life goes on.
I always carry my 2 core bracelets on my fire helmet, just thinking of her every time I go into a burning building or a car wreck. They're always on my helmets.
Dalton is now a volunteer firefighter and just received his EMS certification.
Yeah, it's a good beat.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely is. Heart of gold.
A hug, a smile, a laugh, a sign of gratitude and love. A walk to remember. Brush strokes to wash away the pain that still penetrates the outer shells of the lives she still touches.
We love you, Day-Day!
On this day, this mother and this son are strangers no longer. Time and space, a separation these two will never feel. They know now their journey always led to this destination, to this place. And although there may always be hurt and heartache, Valerie Matthews knows her Day-Day is only a heartbeat away.
So incredibly fortunate to share these last few days with these two families, the second time they have met since the transplant just a few 5 years ago again. And the walk, Valerie says, is the hardest part for her, as you can imagine. She says this could be the last year for that, but she says the outpouring of support has been incredible.
What an emotional story. And how does that work if families do want to reach out to the donors?
Right, and in this particular case too, they told them to wait at least 2 years, to let everything go by for at least a year, let the family celebrate and mark 1-year anniversaries, but they simply couldn't. They simply didn't want to. So if they said if donors would like to reach out to those families or vice versa, that photographs, that writing letters is the way to do it, direct contact.
Such a touching story. Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, guys.
Great job.